from WNEP-TV, the news station. This is News Watch 16.
Skycam 16 with exclusive pictures of emergency crews recovering a body from the river.
The investigation now into the death. Our top story on News Watch 16 at 6. Good evening, everyone. I'm Marisa Burke.
And I'm Scott Schaefer in for Mike Lewis. Two people walking along a trail spotted the body in the middle of the Lackawanna River. Now authorities are working to identify the man and figure out how he died. News Watch 16's Josh Brogadier is live in our newsroom. Josh.
Scott, there's little information so far about exactly what happened, if the man fell down an embankment and got hurt, if he drowned in the river, or if something else caused his death on the trail down below. It was early afternoon when John James and his girlfriend Crystal Del Gershio, both of Scranton, started their walk back home from a store along a quiet stretch of the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail. Then something caught Del Gershio's eye in the river.
And I told him that there was something in the water. At first I was debating if it was a body or not, and then as we started walking closer, I'm like, it is.
And I climbed down the embankment where the officers are at now and saw his hand bobbing in the water, and his feet were off to the side, like bent out, and his face was just buried in the water, and he was laying on the rocks. And I ran back up the embankment, jumped the fence over here, went over to my house, called 911.
Police and firefighters arrived soon after at the river near Emmett Street on the city's west side. They quickly learned this was not a rescue operation. You can see the recovery of the body from Skycam 16. Emergency crews used ropes and pulleys to haul the body of an unidentified man up a 25-foot embankment.
We're moving a little slower because it is a recovery, and we have to take things slower and do things a little methodically to ensure the safety of our personnel. Secondly, some of the stuff we were doing here is somewhat technical. We set up a hauling system because we have an embankment that's relatively steep.
Authorities would not say if they suspect foul play or how the man may have died. The couple who found his body stood and watched, just steps from the place they made this unfortunate discovery. And the coroner said the man is about 35 to 45 years old with brown hair and a mustache. He has two tattoos on his arm. One says Budweiser, the other says Mom. The coroner plans to do an autopsy tomorrow. Josh Brogadier, News Watch 16, reporting live in the newsroom.
Josh, thank you. A volunteer treasurer for 3 United Methodist churches in the back mountain of Luzerne County is accused tonight of stealing more than $50,000. This is Daniel Shishin of West Wyoming at his arraignment this morning in West Pittston. He volunteered to take care of the finances for the Carverton, Orange, and Mount Zion Methodist churches. Court papers say when he was treasurer from 2002 to 2006, Shishin wrote out more than 100 checks to himself, totaling more than $50 grand.
$20,000 worth of cell phones stolen from this store in Dixon City. Police think 2 people broke into the AT&T store along Business Route 6 in Lackawanna County last night. Cops say the burglars broke into a back door, then got into a storage area where the phones were. Remember the woman in this surveillance video from Lycoming County last month? Police were looking for her because they believe she was trying to use several stolen cards at an ATM in Porter Township. Word today that Dana Waite of South Williamsport was arrested on all sorts of charges, including identity theft.
A fight between a father and son has led to an arrest in Lycoming County. Police say John Fave of Picture Rocks thought his son Christopher stole something from his home. Cops say he got mad and attacked his son with a baseball bat in Lycoming County. 3 of the 4 men ordered to learn English by a Luzerne County judge are being ordered out of the country. These men were convicted of criminal conspiracy to commit robbery. 2 weeks ago, a judge said they could avoid prison time if they learned English within a year. But 3 of them are resident aliens and are now being deported because of the convictions. A resident alien lives in the U.S. legally, but is not a citizen.
Firefighters in the Poconos called out to a brush fire today. The blaze broke out around 1:45 this afternoon on Brown Street in Stroudsburg. Flames scorched the yard of one home, and we're told they got very close to surrounding homes, but no damage to them here in Stroudsburg. Those stray dogs we told you about last night on News Watch 16 at 6 have been captured and destroyed. The dogs were suspected of attacking pets in the Hughesville area of Lycoming County. The dog warden tells us the dogs were caught and the owner had them euthanized.
Removing an old piece of equipment at Scranton's Mercy Hospital brought out the police this afternoon. Cops had to block off Pressler Court behind the hospital. Hospital officials were removing an obsolete piece of equipment that had a low level of radioactivity. We're told it's standard for Scranton police to be here as a precaution removing this type of object. Also in Lackawanna County tonight, the government is spelling out plans on what will finally be done to protect Troop from lead-contaminated soil. It has to do with the old Marjol battery plant. Newswatch 16's Bianca Barr live tonight in Troop. Bianca?
And that project is planned to begin in the next few weeks. Tonight, representatives from the Environmental Protection Agency and the local Department of Environmental Protection are just wrapping up an open house informational meeting behind me at the Troop Municipal Building to give those details about the final cleanup plans for the Marjol battery site. Here's some views from Skycam 16. Work is set to begin here in Troop sometime in May. Crews will prepare the site, then build a containment area, then begin excavating and relocating the waste. Crews are going to move about a third of the lead-contaminated waste to an area already contaminated so they can consolidate things. Phase 2 should take place next year when crews will complete the relocation of the waste and then cap the area.
We're taking the necessary safety measures very seriously at this site. There will be no visible dust. There will be no releases through rainwater runoff. We understand the community has serious health concerns, and safety is definitely a primary concern at this site.
And even though the lead-contaminated site has been controversial for several years, not too many people showed up tonight for this open house. We do know that crews have permission to work 6 days a week from 7 to 7, and that the plan is for this to be wrapped up and capped by the end of 2009. Bianca Barr, Newswatch 16, reporting live in Lackawanna County.
All right, Bianca, thanks very much. Big news from PennDOT today. The state announced that it wants to scale down plans for the Marshalls Creek bypass because the project is costing too much. You're looking at the project near routes 209 and 402 in Monroe County from Skycam 16. Crews broke ground in 2005 for a 3.5-mile bypass here. The project went from costing $68 million to more than $200 million. Now PennDOT's putting together a group to develop a more affordable solution to the traffic congestion in this part of Monroe County. The changes not known yet. Skycam 16 flew over Interstate 81 in Lackawanna County while crews were doing emergency bridge repairs. Traffic was backed up southbound as workers did construction between the Davis Street and Moosic exits. Starting tonight, crews will begin another construction project to fix 3 southbound bridges between Moosic and Duryea.
The Main Street Bridge that carries Route 873 over Trout Creek in Slatington, Lehigh County, is now closed to traffic. PennDOT today shut down the bridge. You see some from Skycam 16 so crews can tear down the old one and build a new bridge.
Blue Cross of Northeastern Pennsylvania is responding to Scranton teachers who feel they're paying way too much for health insurance. At last night's school board meeting, the board voted unanimously to seek answers from Blue Cross, all because health insurance premiums for teachers have gone up 34% from last year. Now, Blue Cross said today the dispute is a labor issue between the Scranton School District and the Scranton Federation of Teachers. And Blue Cross points out the terms of the current contract were agreed to by both parties.
Late word today that the FBI searched Scranton's single tax office where last month the new tax collector found at least $12 million she says the office didn't know it had. The tax office here on Wyoming Avenue collects property taxes for the county, city, and Scranton School District. Officials still cannot explain the source of the money or who is owed the cash. The search warrant by the feds is sealed, which means right now we do not know the reason for this afternoon's raid at the Scranton tax office or what was found. Before we get to a commercial break, an update on vote 2008.
It appears Hillary Clinton is regaining ground with Pennsylvania voters. Newswatch 16's exclusive poll from Survey USA shows if the election were held today, Clinton would defeat Barack Obama in Pennsylvania 56% to 38%. Today's results are very similar to a poll taken 1 month ago. Just last week, however, Obama had narrowed the margin to just 12%.
However, another poll shows the gap getting smaller. According to a Quinnipiac poll, Clinton leads Obama by just 6 percentage points, 50 to 44%. The primary is 2 weeks from today.